Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, Paldea Evolved booster boxes are really starting to creep up in price. Today's video is all about that. Are we going to see some Scarlet and Violet booster boxes overtake Sword and Shield booster boxes? At the moment, we've got some quite expensive Scarlet and Violet booster boxes, considering most of these sets haven't been out for that long. And some of them are actually starting to creep up on Sword and Shield prices. So I guess this whole video is dedicated to looking at both short-term and long-term, what is going to be the better investment? Are you better off parking your money in Scarlet and Violet boxes at the current prices versus Sword and Shield boxes at the current prices? What's going to give you the better return? What's going to be the better option? Before we jump into it though, I just wanted to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is of course the Collector app. I've been using this app for quite some time. It's an incredibly fun and easy app to use to track all your sealed and singles products. So you can put all your singles in, you can put all your sealed in, you can see your total inventory or list it from your most expensive item down to your least expensive. You can see the total amount of money you've spent. You can track products. So when you click on a product like Cosmic Eclipse booster box or an Evolving Skies booster box, you can see how it's performed over time. And in particular, if you're a pro member, you can max it out and see how long it's performed over a total period of time. There's also giveaways for pro users on the Collector app. It is such an easy app to use as an investor in particular to see your percentage gains across all the singles and sealed product that you've bought. Right, on to today's topic. The next video I'll bring up here is of Surging Sparks and Paldea Evolved booster boxes. So at the moment, they're neck and neck. There's $1 between them. So a Surging Sparks booster box is currently sitting at $243 US, and a Paldea Evolved booster box, and everyone bags out the way I say Paldea Evolved. I think it's just the accent, it's the Aussie accent. Sorry. If you're in the UK, America, if you're watching from New Zealand, South Africa, wherever it might be, apologies. I cannot say Paldea properly. Apparently I put an R on the end. I don't even realize I do it. Again, it must be the accent. Paldea Evolved booster boxes are $242. So there's $1 difference between a Surging Sparks and a PE booster box. So they're getting pretty expensive. Now, the big question is, and this is one that I've been thinking about lately, when it comes to investing, what's best? Is it best to park our money into those booster boxes? Do they have more room for growth? Are they going to overtake Sword and Shield booster boxes? And if we look at some of the Sword and Shield booster boxes, they're actually not far behind. Paldea Evolved at $242 and Surging Sparks at $243. Now there's a question in itself, which I'll answer in a second. You know, what's the better investment out of Surging Sparks and Paldea Evolved? If you look at those two booster boxes, they're not far behind some what's deemed to be somewhat impressive Sword and Shield sets in Silver Tempest and Astral Radiance, because they're sitting between like 260 to 270. I don't know the exact figure. I think Astral's sitting around 264 and maybe Silver Tempest is sitting around 266. But there's literally about $20 US difference between what feels like more modern sets and sets that came out some time ago, albeit there's not a great deal of difference between Silver Tempest and Paldea Evolved. Now back onto the topic that I said I'd answer in a second, which is what is the better investment out of Surging Sparks and Paldea Evolved? Well, the fact of the matter is, look, I think overall Surging Sparks is a stronger set, but in terms of investability right now, the likelihood of Paldea Evolved booster boxes ever getting reprinted again are a lot smaller than Surging Sparks booster boxes ever getting reprinted again. There is every chance that Surging Sparks has got to be reprinted, even in booster box form. I know it feels like it's not the norm lately to reproduce booster boxes in mass amounts. It feels like, you know, some of those ancillary products, Elite Trainer boxes, 3-pack blisters, etc., seem to be the more favorable reprint option lately. Particularly for stores, like, you know, the old days stores would have the booster box on the counter, they'd flip the back up and you could pick your pack out and buy it. Whereas now, you know, you go into Big W here in Australia or Kmart, or in the US, you know, we're talking Walmart or Target, we have them in Australia as well, of course. And there's all those single sort of sleeve boosters, you know, lined up on the metal shelf there. So that seems to be like the new norm for retailers. Whereas when I was a kid, it was always booster boxes flipped open, whether it was Target, whether it was Kmart, whether it was even the local supermarket. And maybe it's a theft thing, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's 101 reasons. Maybe it's a profit thing for TPCI. Don't know. But either way, it feels like booster boxes are getting a little bit harder to reprint. But the chances, to answer that question, the chances of Surging Sparks essentially being reprinted again, in my opinion, is so much higher than Paldea Evolved. So what's the better set? I think Magikarp is a beautiful chase card. I think overall, Paldea Evolved is a beautiful set with beautiful artworks, and it really sets the tone for the whole Scarlet and Violet era, particularly of illustration rares and special illustration rares. Did it miss a trick in not having a Gyarados special illustration rare? Yes, I've said that 100 times, but is it a good set? Of course it is. Is it as good a set as Surging Sparks? Probably not. Yeah. Look, maybe a controversial statement, but probably not. In my opinion, Surging Sparks is a stronger set. Again, could Surging Sparks have been better? Could we have seen a better Pikachu as the special illustration rare, like a better artwork there? Yeah, probably, maybe. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? And look, when we compare that, so that's that question answered, I think. If you want to go for the safe bet, I think the answer is to invest in a Paldea Evolved booster box because the likelihood of it being reprinted compared to Surging Sparks. So short term, I think Paldea Evolved is a better option. Long term, like I'm talking 5, 7, 10 years even, total set value and total chase cards will have a big impact then. So in my opinion, Surging Sparks will be a more expensive booster box in the future, and I'm talking 5+ years, 7 years, 10 years even, than what a Paldea Evolved booster box will be. Now, the other part of this video, which is comparing Scarlet and Violet booster boxes to Sword and Shield booster boxes, that's the big question because they're really starting to nip at the heels. And I wouldn't be surprised very soon, particularly if we saw a Surging Sparks booster box reprint, that Paldea Evolved easily overtakes Surging Sparks in the short term. And it's really getting very close to those other two booster boxes that I mentioned, Astral Radiance and Silver Tempest. Now, one of the difficult things about Silver Tempest is it almost feels like a boom or bust set. It's like the Lugia, in my opinion, is a stunning Pokemon card, and in fact, probably hasn't got all the praise that it deserves. I think it's an awesome, awesome card. I know there's 16,000 PSA 10 copies, but it's just such a phenomenal artwork and a phenomenal Pokemon card. The other side of the coin there is, though, if you don't pull that, you've got the the Rayquaza from the Trainer Gallery. I just joined Rayquaza and Trainer together. You've got the Rayquaza from the Trainer Gallery, which is an awesome chase card. But if you don't get one of those two, you really don't have much. And even the Rayquaza, $80 raw, like, yeah, that's nothing to be laughed at, but it's not exactly a big hit, is it? And look, with that being said, if you don't get one of those two cards, it's like, where else is the value in the set? And this is what I wanted to show up on the screen now. If we jump into Poke data for argument's sake, and we look at the total value of Paldea Evolved, which is currently sitting at like, what, $1,200 or near on $1,200. Of course, we've got the Magikarp holding up there, and then there's just so many cards above like that $10 or $15 mark. And it makes for a pretty deep set, and it makes for a good chase with Magikarp. You've also got the grading play that comes on top with Magikarp. Like, yes, it might only be $200 odd raw, but look at it in a PSA 10. They're so damn hard to grade that you've got this huge multiplication effect when you grade. A lot like Vintage, like Wizards of the Coast. There's a lot of big hits from Wizards of the Coast here, even if we're talking like Expedition Base, if we're talking Skyridge, that might only be $200 cards raw in mint condition. But as a PSA 10, you know, the stack effect, the multiplier effect is insane, and that matters to people because PSA 10 Magikarp's worth good money. If we compare that set value, total set value, to Silver Tempest, it actually far eclipses Silver Tempest. I shouldn't say far eclipses, but it eclipses it by enough space that it's noticeable. Like it's $300 or $400, about $300 I think it works out to be. High 800s I think Silver Tempest total set value is. Now, I'm a massive lover of Astral Radiance, so I'm not going to sit here and crap on Astral Radiance because I've spruiked this set for a while. I think the Machamp is a beautiful Pokemon card. I think both the Origin form Dialga and Palkia have been undervalued for a while and have maybe only just been recognised, but they've also come back down to earth a little bit on price, and I think the Trainer Gallery is phenomenal. In fact, it's the second best Trainer Gallery out of all 4 Trainer Gallery sets from Sword and Shield. And people might go, hold on, well, Lost Origin's got all the Pikachus. Silver Tempest has got that massive Rayquaza hit. Yeah, okay, but Astral Radiance has Starmie, Garchomp, as well as other cards. It's the second most expensive Trainer Gallery behind Brilliant Stars. Keeping in mind Brilliant Stars, of course, got all those evolutions as part of the Trainer Gallery, so that adds heaps away. You know, Umbreon VMAX, Umbreon V, what's the other one? Has it got Sylveon? Sylveon VMAX and Sylveon V? Anyway. Beside the point, Astral Radiance has the second most expensive Trainer Gallery, and it has 3, or if you include Beedrill, which is a 151 Pokemon, it has 4 strong chase cards in alternate art Pokemon, whereas Silver Tempest just really has the one. It's got the Lugia, and then it's got 1 Trainer Gallery. And it's like, if you don't get one of those, well, it sort of sucks. Whereas then you look at Astral Radiance and you go, well, I've got 4 alt arts that I could pull that were worth, decent money, particularly if they grade a 10. And then I've got this really deep, nice trainer gallery that can be worth good money if I pull it. So I think Astral Radiance, and funnily enough, Astral Radiance is a little bit cheaper than Silver Tempest, but I think it's a better set. And look, not everything happens straight away. As in, not every set gets its time in the sun straight away. At some stage, people might realize that one set is better than what it was given credit for at the start. And probably the best example of that in modern times is Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike, I wouldn't say it was crapped on, but everyone loved the Gengar, of course, and the Espeon was a decent hit. Everyone hated the Muse inside there, and everyone just said, nah, it's garbage, it's rubbish, and it sat forever and a day, like probably 2+ years at sub $100 and then all of a sudden, bang, and now people are really talking strongly of it. So that can happen. But to answer the question, like, where should we be parking our money? And will Scarlet and Violet sets overtake Sword and Shield? Big questions, big questions. Sword and Shield has some really, really strong Pokemon card sets. Sword and Shield also isn't as fun to open as Scarlet and Violet. You might dispute that. You might go, well, Trainer Gallery sets are a little bit more fun to open. Like, yes, they are. But Scarlet and Violet pretty much promises you some illustration rares from a booster box. And yes, they might be hard. Like if you look at Paldea Evolved, you got like a 1 in 480 chance of pulling a Magikarp or whatever it is because you've got so many illustration rares. But you're definitely going to pull some illustration rares if you open a booster box. You've also got every chance of pulling a special illustration rare. You're also going to get a heap of ancillary hits inside it. I just think Scarlet and Violet's been more fun to open than Sword and Shield. Does that matter in the long run? I mean, clearly not if we look at Evolving Skies, because Evolving Skies goes, well, stuff you, who cares about pull rates? I don't care if you open 4 booster boxes and get nothing. I'm Evolving Skies and I'm going to be worth $1,600 a booster box or whatever it's got to, or $1,400 a booster box. So there's so many questions to sort of answer there. And I suppose if we have a quick go at answering them essentially, Scarlet and Violet has more depth. The artwork's phenomenal. Sword and Shield, it had some weaker sets to start off with, but we all know it hit its stride, and it had some phenomenal Pokemon card sets. Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies, of course. Astral I speak strongly of. Brilliant Stars I think is still underrated. Lost Origin with that beautiful Giratina, as well as, the Pikachu Trainer Gallery. Silver Tempest with a beautiful Lugia, although not much depth to that set. What's the better investment? I mean, I think some people might be scared because they've missed the boat on Sword and Shield. I think Paldea Evolved will slowly but surely probably overtake some of those weaker Sword and Shield sets. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it eventually overtakes, although there's some rarity attached to these sets, but Sword and Shield Base, Rebel Clash, of course Battle Styles it's already overtaken. I wouldn't be surprised if it starts nipping at the heels of a set like Silver Tempest. But to answer the whole question around this, where should you park your money? I mean, that is the $1 million question. Keep in mind, every single Scarlet and Violet set is still in rotation, so they could be reprinted. I would still rather, if I had to pick between $243 on a Surging Sparks booster box and $264 or whatever it is, so $20 difference on an Astral Radiance booster box, I would still put my money towards Astral Radiance. It's out of print, it's done. I still feel that argument that I made before about a set being, maybe unrecognized for a while, this will start to gain traction, I think, this set. Like I said, 4 beautiful alt arts, a stunning trainer gallery. Look at Cosmic Eclipse. I mean, that didn't come out of the gate absolutely swinging. It took some time for people to realize, even Team Up, it took some time for people to realize that, there's good fundamentals inside a Pokemon card set. If we then flip the script and go, well, Paldea Evolved versus, say, Silver Tempest, hey, my money's probably on Paldea Evolved as a better investment over Silver Tempest. The likelihood of Paldea Evolved getting reprinted, particularly in booster box form, is getting so small now. I would hedge my bets and place it there. Maybe that answers the question. I'm Michael, this is Pokey Oz. Catch everyone next time.